Welcome into the KSR Football Podcast presented by Friends of Cole. It's a victory Monday after the Wildcats won an SEC football game. This is the first time, Van, you've been able to join a Victory Monday, an SEC Victory Monday on the Football Podcast. How does it feel?
Feels like 1994 again. If you know, you know. Yeah, I understand. It's good now. Now we need to get a SEC home game, and that'll be bingo for me. I will complete my bingo card. We can get that.
We got the 2 touchdowns against an SEC team. We got the SEC win. Now we just need a home SEC win. Maybe the Cats can get that Saturday night against Florida, but we're going to spend some time talking about the win over Auburn. Drew Franklin here is with us, and Adam Luckett, who was down on the Plains, the littlest, sleepiest little old town on the Plains. Luckett, how was your trip to the greater Opelika area?
Had a good time. Those people, they were pretty done with Gapwood Shoe. They were ready to move on, to say the least, and that's exactly what they did on Sunday. So it was a good time. Great stadium. The War Eagle pregame is pretty awesome. Had a good time. Had a good time at Auburn. Tailgate setup is unique. A lot of parking. So if you're going down there just to tailgate and you're looking at that, it's a really good stadium. And it's not hard really to get to from where we're coming from. You just go 65 to 85 and you're there. It's right off 85. So had a good time there at my first time on the loveliest village on the Plains. We got to walk out, Nick. When we walked out, we walked through the recruiting room. We got to see the Heisman trophies. Mm-hmm. So got to see that. Got to see the big old Pat Dye statue right in front of the stadium. So, yeah, we had a good time down there.
Did you see the spot where they interview all the recruits as they leave their visits?
Yeah. You weren't there, but I thought – I was like, Nick would know this because that's the picture we see 800 times in the summer is of them where they do all the recruiting interviews for auburnsports.com.
Yeah, and it's inside baseball, but it's one of those things. Most schools, it's very frowned upon to interview recruits on campus. Auburn, they're like, no, here, talk to them. Talk about how great your trip was. And, hey, they get players, but you know what? It's hard to win with good players when you have Hugh Freeze as your coach. But the good news, Drew, is he is going to have a lot more time on his hands to hit the driving range, to hit the course. I love that the first way they found out that something was happening is that his standing 1:30 tee time got canceled on Sunday. So when the standing tee time gets canceled, you're cooked.
I think that was his wife's. His wife plays golf on Sunday every day at 1:30. So that's how they were packaging that.
It definitely was not Hugh. Hugh was definitely not playing golf in season.
Yeah, definitely not a couples scramble Sunday at 1:30. Couldn't have been Hugh and his wife out there.
Oh, I forgot to say there was a golf simulator in the recruiting room.
Fitting.
Joking, guys. I heard it was in the trap door somewhere in the building.
Somewhere hiding.
But no coffee in the press box, huh?
No,
what kind of crap is that? A night game and no coffee?
That was I was looking around like, is this real? Am I in real life? Pinching myself. What's going on out here?
Oh man,
it's going into the mine without a hard hat. I can't believe they made you work in that environment.
I know. I felt like I was driving a car without a seatbelt. I was like, "What's going on? This is weird."
When I was out of town this weekend, I went to a family wedding in Texas. That was a good old time. But when I got back, the wife, she did the grocery shopping while I was gone. And I thought of you when I opened up the cabinet and I saw, what do you don't call it a jar? What even is that? The canister? It was a canister of Maxwell House coffee, and I just thought, oh man,
yeah,
this would be a fight in the Luckett household.
No bueno. I would walk out on the front porch and punt it into the little court.
Could you punt as good at Laros? Because that would have been across the street into your neighbor's yard.
I might have hurt myself.
Inside the
20. Yeah, it was as Mark Stoops said, all 3 phases played well. We can at least start with the special teams. 6 punts, all of them down inside the 20. He had a couple of 50-yarders. But Auburn's average starting field position was the 14-yard line. I think only twice they started outside of their own red zone. It was 26 and 35. That's That's how you beat that Auburn football team. Make them go on long, sustained drives, and they could not. The only scoring drive they had was because Cutter Boley, I don't want to say turned back into a pumpkin, but he had been great in 2-minute situations all year. But we finally had the bad pick that cost Kentucky some points there right before half. And I don't. Were you sweating it out, Drew, when that happened? Did you think, oh no, the wheels are? This is where they start to fall off?
I did, and it didn't help that in my prediction on KSR, I wrote that Kentucky will have the lead in the fourth quarter and commit a bad turnover and end up losing the game. So when that happened in that moment, I wanted to go hit delete on our paragraph. But Boley was off all night. He got lucky he didn't have a couple more interceptions. There were 2 in the first half. Just coming off his hand wrong. It seemed like first couple deep balls were high. Stoops even said at halftime in his little sideline interview that he's got to get Cutter's arm dialed in because he was not very accurate all night long, and he's lucky it wasn't worse. But that one came at a horrible time, and it was lucky they held on.
Stoops did note, and I think this is probably why he's SEC co-freshman of the week. Jalen Farmer got co-lineman of the week. But after that rough, shaky start, he did get him dialed in. 11 straight completions to start the second half, Van, including, I mean, that was the whole drive that got him down there before Kendrick Law was ultimately able to punch it in. So the freshman showing some resolve despite a shaky start.
Yeah, there were 2 big third down conversions on that drive. And I'm going to just tell you, man, the football guys were on our side. That pass to Ferrier, man, if you think the other ones were shaky, that one was really shaky. And that led us into the only touchdown that we needed. He found a way. Look, that's a gutsy performance by him because something was off. I don't know if there was dew on the ball. Adam could tell me was the dew point having a factor in that game because
no, but it was coming out weird all night.
So I will say this: in that first half, we left points off the board because he couldn't complete third down layups. There were a couple layups he had in the first half that he just couldn't dial in that could have sustained drives. So we probably left a good 6 points off the board in the first half. But he found a way. And quarterback play is not always pretty sometimes, but he found a way to come that second half and lead us to the first drive out of halftime, which was huge.
Speaking of third downs, this is later in the game, but Kentucky's trying to put Auburn away. And you got 3rd and 4. Fade to Harley Gilmore. What do we think of that call, Drew?
Well, for one, I'm never a big fan of the fade regardless, but I didn't love it there either. Especially with the way, as we've mentioned to start the show, that Boley wasn't throwing the ball. He had the good drive to give him credit, but he wasn't very accurate most of the night.
How many deep shots has Gilmore reeled in this year? I mean, it's not quite the hit rate that Barry and Brown had last year, where it was we're going to attempt 90 of them downfield and complete 2.
Well, they were better on 3rd and long than they were 3rd and medium. Like they had 5 3rd and 10 or more, and they converted 3 of them.
Right.
Both Ferrier catches were 3rd and 11.
Yeah, that was kind of to me, even the 13-yard completion to Law on 3rd and 20, it just sets you up to pin them deep with a punt. So, like, they did a really good job, I think, in some of that down and distance. And, Cutter, he got lucky on the one throw, but the throw before that, I thought he did a really good job kind of working the pocket and then getting to Ferrier right at the sticks on the 3rd and 11. So, he had some good moments, but overall, it was he did look shaky, and he missed potentially the kill shot throw. I thought to Gilmore was open. That if you hit that, Kentucky probably goes up 17-3, and then who knows? Auburn might have a turnover late, and then you might get an extra score at the end. So he had some misses, but overall, it's a redshirt freshman. They're putting a lot on his shoulders. They've turned the offense over to him.
He's playing a really good defense. I mean,
playing a good defense. It was a rocky night, but the turnovers they had didn't kill them, and that was enough to win the football game.
Yeah, and you got to credit Auburn. I mean, it was back-to-back games that Kentucky's not leading by receiving yards, but leading in receptions was a running back, and McGowan had 2 catches for a yard. So they took that part of the game away for him. But you mentioned the turnovers didn't kill him. Part of the reason they didn't kill him is because they turned one back over. Kentucky was due, right? Like after the Tennessee yakety sacks where the ball's just bouncing all over the place and then it goes right to them. Then you have the tip pass. We were due to have some good turnover luck, even if it meant having an offensive player recover your first fumble of the year, which is just a wild stat. I mean, the last Saturday in October is the first time you recovered a fumble, and it's because a true freshman makes a gritty, tough play, just a don't quit play to get the ball back.
Yeah, he just made a football play. That look, I'm gonna say this. That's why I tell all high school coaches to let your best player play both sides of the ball, because that's a defensive back play. That if he didn't play defensive back in high school, he doesn't make that play. Mm-hmm. And that's the advantage of putting your star player on the field on both sides. That was a big play for us. Like I said, the football guys are on our side this Saturday. Hopefully they're on our side next Saturday, and we can get some good fortunes to happen back-to-back weeks. Finally at home for a change.
Well, yeah, he was recruited by schools as defensive back first. A few schools recruited him as a defensive back first. I think you saw.
Mm-hmm. One might say that Cam Miller was resilient, maybe reliable. I don't know if we can say affordable too, but probably. I don't know what they paid him in NIL, but that's exactly what Cole is. So shout out to Friends of Cole, presenting sponsors of the KSR football podcast. Friends of Cole, Kentucky.org to learn more about how Cole is fueling the economy of the Commonwealth. And while we're at it, because I know Tinker and probably some other Tennessee yokels are going to be in the go back to the coal mines, Kentucky fans. Hey, how does it feel to lose, you losers? You lost this week. Kentucky won. Losers. Oh, man. Josh Heupel, he's so good at winning big games, Drew. That's all he does, right? When it's a big game, Heupel always delivers with big, fat, stinking L's.
I love that you have this energy. I remember watching them score 56 points in Lexington 9-10 days ago.
Out the window. That didn't happen. Their most recent game, Tennessee lost. They went. I mean, can you imagine? You go dark mode. You build up all this hype. You're going to black it out. Great atmosphere, and then you just lose.
So that's why we didn't promote the blackout last week, because we didn't want fans to say this.
Yeah, exactly.
Great marketing. Play department is smart.
Yep, chess, not checkers. That's what they said about UK football PR. They're on top of it.
What is going on down there?
Shigari Lane just walked in, so there's a whole ruckus. He's trying to get lunch, Drew. Y'all just shut the door on him.
Oh, is he really there?
Yeah, he's walking in the parking lot. I think he's headed up towards Neck Roush right now.
Tell Shigari to hop on. Talk a little ball with us.
Oh, Shigari Lane. I still remember him missing a dunk because he jumped too high against Austin Peay at Freedom Hall. Core memory for Nick Roush. Which, all joking aside, this should be a core memory for many because it just never, ever, 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 ever happens. It was the second time since 1966 that Kentucky has won on the Plains at Jordan-Hare Stadium. Part of it's they don't play there a ton, but still, it never happens. The last time it happened, Will Fiddler was quarterback. I think, did Fiddler rush for a touchdown too? Was that the game where three quarterbacks rushed for one and Cobb was one of them?
That is correct.
I believe that's the game.
Will Fiddler.
Henderson's own.
Is the only more random Kentucky quarterback to start a game Luke Wright? I mean, because they're and that was the Will Fiddler game. So when we're 5 years from now, we're talking about the Auburn game. What's going to be the defining moment of this game? Is it the Cam Miller game? Is that the play that we're going to remember?
I think it's that Auburn scored 3 points and Hugh Freeze got fired 12 hours later. That's probably how I'll remember it 15 years from now.
So that leads me to a point that I'm not going to hammer Stoops over the head with it, but he said multiple times that we play great complementary football, offense, defense, special teams. I admittedly was at a wedding during this game, so I was not as locked in as I typically am. But if you look at the box score, okay, the teams combined for less than 500 yards of offense. Kentucky averaged 3.9 yards per play. He had 16 first downs. It's not exactly offensive firepower.
They were good at getting it to midfield. And then when they got around midfield, then everything fell apart.
Yep. That's
Overall, though, it's not a
I
game
thought-
that college football will use for marketing to get the common fan, especially that first half. It won't be a come look at our product. Look how fun this is.
I mean, the best
Well, it depends.
games-
If you're trying to get in and out, in 2 hours and 30 minutes, 2 hours and 45 minutes, that's kind of the game script you need. But yeah, I don't think maybe Kentucky had 1 3 and out off the top of my head, but they moved the ball, I think, consistently. It was just that all the drives, it felt like bogged down at midfield, and then the one drive they got across, they went and scored on. I don't think they got past Auburn 40 other than those two scoring drives.
It was penalties, man. Penalties and getting behind the chains with a TFL or something. That will hurt us. But look, I think we started 2 drives inside our 30 or inside the 10. And those 2 drives, we got the necessary first downs we needed to punt them inside the 20. Look, complimenting football. I understand people deem that as a negative. It's not, because you got to have complimentary football to win. Because we saw against Texas, our special teams stunk, right?
Yep.
That lost us the game. Special teams came through. That special teams were. I know people say the defense. The defense, they don't perform as well without special teams. Special teams were the most important side of the football in this game, easily.
It is just it just amuses me that Mark Stoops, 2 of their best offensive games, it's 23 total points. Score 10 and win against Auburn, score 13 and nearly knock off Texas. But defensively, the defensive line was on point, and Stoops noted today that a lot of it is because of the precision with which they played. When they dialed up stunts, it was almost like teach tape Van on some of those, where it was the perfect amount of contact and then get off your man, get outside, and go get after the quarterback. And like it has so many times this year, it wasn't a one-man wrecking crew. It was spread out between Khalil Saunders, Stephen Souls, Lorenzo Cowan got quite a few reps in this game. And then I know I'm leaving one off the
Houston, Humphrey Grace, both of those guys are playing well.
Like it was a real committee approach, and those quarterbacks, all of Hugh's quarterbacks, they were in hell all game long.
Yeah, look, this is not. We talked about this early in the season. This is the best stunning team I can remember in Stoops' era history. They do a great job working off each other. Their TE or TT stunts are real crisp and tight. It was a great game to see from the front, but this is like a broken record for them. Even against Tennessee, they did a good job. Unfortunately, the guys on the outside couldn't hold up. You know what they did this game? They held up and allowed those guys to get to the quarterback.
Which credit to Nasir Addison, who he's been basically a special teamer his entire career like it, but Waller out for who knows how long. Teron Nichols has to miss Saturday's game. So you get Nasir Addison in, ask him to play a ton of snaps, and he held his own. Oh, did we lose like it there?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going to riff there
froze.
for a second. Oh, yeah.
Froze on you. I thought you were throwing it at the van. I didn't think you were throwing it at me. But yeah, I think you just have to give them a lot of credit. Really, just I think the defense in general. I thought they played on a string together, and they were able, I think, to protect the secondary, but still stop the run. Auburn couldn't get the run game going. It was a game they wanted to come in and be able to run the ball. And then I think you saw, Nick, why that team has scored 2 offensive touchdowns or less in 6 consecutive SEC games. And so you made a bad offense look like a bad offense, and I think you deserve some credit for that. And you had to, in a lot of ways, you had to pitch a shutout. Yeah, you couldn't have that one drive where they just go rip off an 80-yard touchdown drive on you. You had to pitch a shutout, even though you had the field position, a heavy field position advantage. You still had to go do it. And they did that. And I don't think Auburn, other than the turnovers, I don't think they got past, I don't know, the Kentucky 40, the Kentucky 35. So, like, they couldn't even get in the red zone.
I was admittedly worried going into this game that their receivers, who are great athletes, I know Cam Coleman was dealing with an ankle injury, but I was just worried about some of the short gains turning into big ones where, hey, don't ask too much from your new quarterback, but if you can get a little something, they're good enough to turn into a big something. So you got to credit Kentucky's secondary for keeping everything underneath. They only had one reception for more than 15 yards, and that was late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I only remember one missed tackle on Addison on Cam, and that's the only one that I can remember in the passing game that was a missed tackle. They this game was similar to Ole Miss last year. They were able to minimize yak yards. They were able to keep everything in front, not allow big plays. They did everything that they were supposed to. Brad mixed up some different four-man pressures from odd angles. The linebackers played their best coverage game in a long time.
Best game in general, I thought.
A lot. And that was big for us. That was big for confusing Daniels. And that's the difference in the game. I think the linebackers, for the most part, probably played as a whole with the pass rush with Souls and Green, and Rayner played probably his best game of this season. It was nice to see them round and form and have everybody play well, not just one position group.
Yeah, Sam Green had a sack. Rayner had 8 total tackles. And Stoops kind of noted in Rayner's case in particular, he was decisive, assertive. And that was not
a big breakup in the end zone to add that too.
That was not the case with Hugh Freeze, though. He was not assertive or decisive.
You're right, Drew. That was a DB type of quarterback. And I know the play came back, but that was a play that I highlight. Like, that was a great play by Rayner. He was beat. He didn't get a PI. Wouldn't have been a PI because he turned around the last moment, put his hands up, and should have caught it. Had a chance to catch it. That was a great play by him.
And I thought he had
the dot on it.
I thought he had a tone-setting tackle first possession. He met Cobb in the hole. They both kind of went backwards after the hit. And I thought that was, that kind of established how that night was going to go, I thought, for Kentucky's defense.
Kentucky was hitting. And Nick, back to your point about Hugh Freeze that you brought up there. I love Steven's video of Auburn fans yelling "Go Big Blue" and doing Kentucky chants at the end because they wanted it to be over with. For him needing to go out and save his job for that offense to have 3 points, and for him to change quarterbacks, then change back to the other quarterback, he just made it so easy on Auburn. Great night for Hugh.
That guy, I don't know a whole lot about football. I know enough to come on here and talk about it, but I have no business being an actual head football coach. I think if you gave me that roster, I could figure out ways to pass the football. My God, how they have NFL players all over that roster, and they can't do anything. I know we're hard on Hugh Freeze right now, on Mark Stoops right now. He was by far the better coach on Saturday night. It wasn't even close. That guy stinks. Just put him out in his hospital bed and push him out into the street. Send him off to pasture. He's terrible.
No, there was a coaching advantage when Kentucky was on defense and Auburn was on offense. I think that's that's fair.
The funny part too, is I remember being at media days and talking about Auburn, and it's they should be good if Hugh Freeze just doesn't get in the way. And it's well, he got in the way. A lot.
Just don't mess this up. Hey, narrator, he messed it up.
They are now on the hook for $52 million in buyouts over a 7-year stretch. Is it a 7-year stretch or less? Might even be 6. Because it went 3 to 6 years, $52 million in buyouts.
Oh, you meant all Gus, Harsin, and Hugh. Yeah.
Whew. Auburn, that place. Yeah, weird place. And I know that there are some people with John Summerall anxiety in that place right now. But hey, that one thing that you got to remember about Auburn, generally speaking, it's not just Hugh Freeze that gets in their own way. Like them as an institution, they like to get in their own way because of their decision making, and it also doesn't help them that Alabama and Georgia are good at the same time. That's a very hard place to have success when the other two are kicking all kinds of ass all over the place. So Hugh Freeze, he's kind of a cartoon character. I wanted him to stay around a little bit longer, but unfortunately that's not the case. And correct me if I'm wrong, Luckett, but I believe having this SEC Media Days conversation after his first boring, long monologue, where he essentially said, we'll know within 3 years if this is going to work or not.
Yeah, he did.
On recruiting. And
yeah, year 3 is the big year, and I know this. He said that, I believe, his first year.
Yeah, well, big year came, and now it's gone. So Stoops, I mean, he's the SEC Grim Reaper. I mean, he just takes out coaches, right? Like it's the meme of the Grim Reaper going to the door. Coach O, Pruitt, Spurrier. Yeah, that was the big one.
Muschamp, Mullen. Did we get credit for Mullen?
Mullen was a little bit later in the year.
Added to it.
I love the stat that Kentucky has never played a Tennessee coach that they've beaten. The next year, they're always gone. I mean, Stoops is just a great – even all the way back to Derek Dooley.
Oh, jeez.
Taking him out.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
He
with
did
the
beat
orange
him once,
pants.
didn't he?
Yeah, and then he didn't survive the next season.
No, he didn't.
Work, right?
But Butch's first year was Stoops' first year.
Oh, okay.
The last time Dooley coached against Kentucky was 2011, and then he got fired before the Kentucky game in 2012.
I know. We wanted one more game with them. I really wanted Bobby Petrino to have to stick around for that season finale in 2018. It was one of those like Vince Tyree. Come on, just make him take this ass whooping, please. Like he's earned his lashings from the Kentucky fan base. Which, speaking of Petrino, I wanted him to find a way to win his back into removing the interim tag just for pure comedy's sake. But Van, I don't think he's going to have enough chances to win him back.
I don't think so. And look, all these offensive coaches, it's when you tie yourself to a quarterback and the quarterback is unsuccessful in your scheme, you are leaving with him. That's the thing that happened to Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze could not identify a quarterback. He thought he had one of Jackson Arnold. Not good enough, which is interesting that he would hit just his career to Jackson Arnold, who couldn't even succeed at Oklahoma. This is a weird match, but yeah, it's interesting, man, how all these if you can't find a quarterback, you're going to be in a world of trouble.
Maybe Kentucky has found theirs, but they're the wild part too with Auburn in particular is that Arnold. It almost felt like he was Peyton Thorne without the picks, and you thought that could still be good enough.
Wow.
You know, because they weren't turning the ball over, and I think that's the more miraculous part is Kentucky could not win a turnover battle. Like I can't understand it how it's not the case because they're creating turnovers, but it's just not. I don't, and yet they still found a way to win.
They're not creating that many. You would like to see them create more, but it's not happening. I'm pulling up that number, Nick. Their turnover number. They are now 1-4-1 in power conference games in the turnover battle this season. They were 1-7-1 in power conference games last year. So that is 2-11-2 in the turnover battle in their last 17. Yeah, 17 or 15 power conference games. So yeah, it's just, and even going back to like 2021, they had that big season. They were, I think, -12 that year. It's just something they've, for lack of a better term, stunk at.
Yeah, I think that's apt analysis. Great adjective. This upcoming game is one where you need to force turnovers. You need to take advantage when they make turnover-worthy plays because DJ Lagway is as boom or bust as it gets. I mean, it's a testament to the lack of his development as a player, and I think part of it's because he's never healthy enough to develop in the offseason. But like Van, he goes from making just NFL highlight reel stuff to dropping back to pass and dropping the football. I mean, that he did that against Georgia. Like he just dropped back, he slipped and dropped the football, and was lucky that he was able to fall back on it because there was a guy right there. Like Lagway's going to do some crazy. There's going to be some boom, but it's the bust that you got to take advantage of. Or when you get home and get to the quarterback. Let's hit the ball out when we're tackling him, right? Like, can we hit the ball from behind or something like that? Have the ball go our way? Because when you have 7 sacks in a game, you'd like for one of those balls to get put on the turf. Man. Like it's just let's. I don't feel like I'm asking too much. I'm asking a lot, but let's get there.
Turnovers are a weird thing on defense. Normally they come in bunches. Like I'll never forget '93, we had 6 picks against Florida. Like. Who gets 6 picks in one game? They usually come in bunches. There's also a thing of everybody running to the ball and hustling. And that is just sometimes a tough thing. I would say this. When your linebackers and your safeties are not elite, you're not going to have as many turnovers. And we have not had an elite set of inside linebackers and safeties in a few years. And that's the difference, maybe. When we go back to Mike Edwards, when you go back to Square and Jock Jones, guys who can, Trevin Wallace, who can make a difference, those are where a lot of times your turnovers come from. And we haven't had that kind of level of inside linebacker play in a minute. So I think that's the difference with getting all these turnovers, these forced fumbles, these fumble recoveries, is that we are not elite up the middle. Once we become that, if we are able to become that with the same coaching staff, it might not be possible, but you have to be great up the middle, and we just haven't been.
Well, and if you look at the back end of the schedule, there are quarterbacks who will make those kinds of plays that you could take advantage of. I mean, I already mentioned Lagway, but I was with some folks who are big Louisville fans watching the first half of their game on Saturday. Miller Moss loves to throw terrible interceptions. I mean, my God, that guy, he just is addicted to it. Hey, we're going to run a guy in the seam to take up the safety so we can hit our best receiver on a crosser. And he's like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it into triple coverage up the seam. Like, this play works to perfection, but I'm going to refuse to make that throw. Like, you've got him later on the schedule, and now their best running back, I mean, he could be out for the year. Uncle Jeff, when he says Isaac Brown could be out for a while, I mean, he might be in a wheelchair. Saying he's out for a while is very serious. He does not give anything up injury-wise. And he's been a main generator for their offense. So that game looks a little bit more like, that could be something.
Wait a minute, Nick. Are you telling me Louisville could commit a turnover and lose to Kentucky as a heavy favorite in the last game of the year in Louisville?
Have you ever seen that before?
What? Let me do the Heisman pose real quick one more time.
But that game could be right for the taking. It's almost like a gateway was open, Drew, to a path we normally couldn't see. And here's the thing that I know some fans they didn't want to hear it previously, but it's kind of there. And the one thing I really got to give credit to Mark Stoops for is that he's been saying all year that this team's getting better and they haven't quit. And it's like, I hear you, Mark, and I can kind of see it, but also you're still losing, so I can't really believe it. But that the win at Auburn changes that, and if they can continue to build on that, then all of a sudden you say, okay, well, this pathway to a fun November is possible, even though it's not something that we've necessarily seen often in the Mark Stoops era. Typically, they kind of wane down the stretch. Well, now he might have built a team that's capable of playing its best football at the end of the season.
I think they get Florida on Saturday, and people start getting real confused with how they feel about this football team. Vandy, I had them beating Vandy. In my season predictions, I had them winning out from this point on to make a bowl game. So we're right in line with what I had in September. Now, Vandy's better than I thought they'd be. They'd take a step back. But I think they're going to get Florida on Saturday. And then all you got to do is win one of the other ones. And we're right there. And after a season of bickering, and I know there are some people that's still not good enough. I get it. I see your messages. We know. But that will put a lot of people's headspace in a pretzel after it looked like there was no hope. And now there is a road. I'm not predicting it, but there is a possibility that could actually happen.
I mean, how those guys are going to look so cold on Saturday night, Van. You know how Florida boys are, right? Were you amongst them? Were you one of those who was afraid of the cold?
No. I traveled a lot as a kid, but I'm telling you, man, it is a difference. I'll tell you a story when I was with the Bears. It was last game of the season. We had to play Tampa Bay. It's 20 degrees in Chicago. We practicing in the indoor. It's 80 degrees in Tampa Bay. That first quarter, we were dogging it. They were, tongues to the ground. So it's the opposite. It could be the opposite. Those guys are not used to that weather. And here's the thing. If we jump on them early and it's less than 45 degrees at kickoff, they're going to put on those coats and find that hand warmer, that heater, and they're done. I'm telling you, they will be done. But we have to jump on them early. If we don't jump on them early, then they can get hyped and jump around and warm up. But if we jump on them early, it can get ugly.
Trying to pull up.
I think that's a good point too. It's like 40.
Okay.
40 is good enough.
Yeah, it's cold enough.
I think that's a good point too, because Saturday, Florida's coming.
Oh no, we're losing Luckett.
It's weird. Shouldn't you all be on the same Wi-Fi? You're right above.
Well, I did plug in. So which you would think that a router wouldn't just like quit working half of the time, but it does that from time to time. But Luckett, you're back.
I'll show you a lot of things at KSR that quit working if you want.
You were commending Van for making a good point, Luckett, when you started to freeze up. So, he might still be out.
He's moving.
He's there, but is he muted?
Oh, he might be just like lagged behind so much that he can't keep up with him. Can we mess with him now? See, I mean,
Luckett, stay quiet if you really enjoyed that Bears game yesterday.
Oh, that's wrong.
Dude,
that is wrong. Drew, how can you do this as a Tennessee fan?
Hey, we covered. We're back. We covered the 10.5. Only lost by 7.
That was also a very confusing uniform game. Too much of the same powder blue.
Orange,
yeah.
Baby.
The Chargers got to wear their yellows or something like that. It was throwing me off seeing that.
I saw that the Titans. I'd have to pull up this stat. I don't have it in front of me, but they've lost or they've played the most consecutive games without scoring more touchdowns than the other team. And it had 3 teams they named that I've never even heard of. It was like the Dayton Cardinals. All these streaks were in like the 1920s and 30s. So we're done with NFL records. We're like doing all of football records. We're historically bad.
Oh,
AFL records.
Wow. There we go. Luckett's back. You got just in time to join us to talk about the Bengals scored another 40 points and losing.
Oh yeah, fun times. I'm just gonna log back off now. I'll see you all later.
Nick, before you make fun of his Bengals and my Titans, you kind of glossed over that you're at a wedding, and you're just gonna not admit what's that photo you tweeted out? You're like drinking out of a boot with a cowboy hat on.
Yeah,
it looks like you were having a good time Saturday night.
It was great, and so my cousin is he's the oddball of the family, and I don't think he would mind me saying that because he had a Viking themed wedding. They had actual swords that they wore on them to the altar, and like took them, unsheathed them, and had like a code to swear to protect each other with their swords. And then so they made their own honey mead and then we were drinking out of it in that giant horn. I mean, this thing was like 2 feet long, a little bit easier to drink out of than a boot, but nevertheless, still fun, still a good time. I just couldn't. It was hard to believe that. Wait, is Kentucky actually going to do this? But B, hard to watch because our good friends at the Four Letter Network are. I'm putting all of this on them too. Like ESPN, suck it. I know what you're doing. You're trying to strong arm YouTube TV customers out of getting YouTube TV to subscribe to your direct DTC, your direct consumer product. I don't want to buy that. I have YouTube TV. It's very easy. Oh, we negotiated with all other people. That's because you own Hulu, you jackasses. Like, you're not going to trick me. You're trying to strong arm us into buying some of the product. And so, like, I couldn't just do the traditional look at my phone and try to, like, and just watch the game. So I was having to do the game casts, the live stats to figure out what was going on before jumping on the YouTubes afterwards to watch. So it was not pleasant. I was very unhappy. And I don't, how long can we go before they get this figured out? Because there's also a basketball game tomorrow night, and I don't want to have to buy something else because I know it's like when it took me a while to figure out how to use the remote, right? I mean, when you get the new thing, you get in your habits of the remote. I don't want to have to figure out how to do the Hulu and do all the shortcuts. Like, it's just YouTube TV's easy, man. I've got Red Zone already bought. Like, I don't want to. I'm an old dog, all right? Don't make me learn a new trick, but ESPN's going to make me do it. So figure it out, ESPN, please, for the love of God.
I don't mind learning new tricks. I'm decent with the apps, but they're charging way too much. They're just absolutely shaking people down on this, and they knew what they were doing when they gave us game day for free on Saturday. You just wanted to get everybody excited, and at 12 say, no, now go to the app. They know what they're doing, but it's way overpriced. If it were like $7-8, that's the world we live in, but it's over $30 a month to get the ESPN Unlimited bundle. That's
crazy. That was the original YouTube TV price that included normal channels, and now, of course, it's like $80. Am I just going to have to buy cable? Is that
don't do it?
Are you a cable guy, Van?
No, I just converted over to YouTube TV. I was with Direct TV, and I got backdoor into it because I like to watch the Skycast angle. And ESPN made it where you couldn't watch the Skycast angle with a normal subscription. So I went and upgraded so I can watch the Skycast angle. So I'm already indoctrinated in the ESPN sphere. So I'm not upset because I already paying for it, and I'm saving money because I switched. So I'm all happy.
They already got you.
They already got me.
I will say, I think Kentucky has only lost once in games that I have missed. I usually, I might be having a kid or, there's a wedding or something like that. And the only loss was the game that we won and had it stolen from us. And that was and this is non-COVID, it was the Ole Miss penalty that.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, technically we won that game and then until we lost it. But, that was right there for the taking. But the last win at South Carolina, I missed. There was a Mississippi State game in there. The Skang Gang put up a bunch of points there. So, maybe I'm just bad luck going to games.
Stay at home. Turn your TV off. That's what you need to do.
You go to all the home games. That's where the problem is. I mean, you go to all the games, but the home games is where we're all really locked in, and that's what's the worst.
Maybe I just need to stay at home and work from home in my Brunt workwear boots. Throwing my boots, my heavy-duty boots. Because here's the thing. They're comfortable whether I'm working heavy-duty or not. But if you are working heavy-duty, they're tough enough for the job, whether it's the Marin or it's the lace-up boots or the Omen. Brunt isn't just about work boots. They got a full range of high-performance gear built for tough jobs. They got heavy-duty work pants, weather-resistant jackets for the cold weather that's right around the corner. Brunt designs durable, reliable workwear to keep you protected and productive in any condition. check out the boots, man. They're awesome. They're comfortable. Be comfortable in any condition and be prepared for whatever work throws your way with Brunt. And for a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt when you use code KSR at checkout. You don't cut corners and neither does Brunt. Visit bruntworkwear.com/KSR to make your work day a better day with Brunt. Shout out Brunt Workwear. I had my boots on. I was down in Austin. I had to have all my Texas gear on. Somebody called me out for being you're not a real Texan because it's winter and you have a straw hat on instead of a felt hat. I'm like, it's 70. This is summer for me. Like this is hot.
Yeah, it's different down south. We used to wear starter jackets, the old school starter jackets in the late 80s and 90s in Louisiana. It didn't make any sense. So yeah, some people here are and it's 70 degrees, 80 degrees outside. Oh my God, it's cold. Yeah, that's normal. That's not shocking.
What starter jacket did you have? I love starter jackets.
Come on now. Come on. That's a crazy question. What was the most popular starter jacket ever created?
The Charlotte Hornets.
Ding, ding, ding. That's it.
Well,
nobody was fans of it. There was no fans of the show. It was the best one.
Yeah,
I thought you might have had the Niners though, because I mean they were rocking and rolling. You're a Niners fan, and those are some good-looking colors, you know.
No one cared about who you liked as a fan. Everybody cared about the swag, man. Perfect colors, the B on the back, dude. That was the white one. Oh, come on.
They were sharp.
Nostalgia.
And you got the nostalgic Wildcat on now. Is that your favorite Wildcat logo, Van? Do you have a personal favorite?
My favorite Wildcat logo is the one that's winning. That's one I like. I don't like I'm about to offend a lot of people. If I get kicked off of here, Nick, it's because of what I'm about to say. I don't like the Power K. You know why? Because I wore it and we lost. I don't like that thing, man. No, take that thing out. I don't need it. I don't need it.
That's a fair. I feel like that whenever the Power K conversation comes up, that's what most people say is we lost all the time when we were wearing it. Exactly. I liked it on the field though, because it went from like the 35 to the 35. It took up half the field, so that was pretty cool. The best logo is the one where the Wildcat is over the interlocking UK.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it would look good on a helmet or not. But with the giant claw, we were rocking and rolling in the 90s.
But there were some things wrong with the tongue that might not be advantageous to put on the field.
Were they wrong?
No, I think it was advantageous.
That's PG-13. You don't know, Nick? Are you too young to know about that?
Oh, I know about it, but it's a distraction for the other team.
I think we got to bring it back and really lean into it. Let's play it up.
Maybe that might be nice. Somebody will complain though, you know.
Lucky, how are the Friday night bars on Halloween night in Auburn, Alabama?
Couldn't get in anywhere, so it was a early night for Mr. Luckett. I got out there and I was like, "What am I doing? Get me out of here!"
It was
It was like Grandpa Simpson. I walk out of the Uber, walked around, did a circle, got back in the Uber, went back to the hotel.
I had not. I mean, just going out on Halloween, it's almost kind of like going out on New Year's to Luckett's point for this old man. And with work, like, you know, we're usually working the football games. But I did make my way out and about Friday night to a place that wasn't the happening spot. And the next day when I saw the 6th Street in Austin chaos, I mean, it looked like State Street after Kentucky won an Elite Eight game. I mean, it was shoulder to shoulder everywhere you went. I was just thinking to myself, glad I'm not really amongst them. Like I was just out enough amongst them to not be all the way out. So I appreciate that. Like it's fun to, you know, poke at people's costumes. Drew, do you Halloween? Do you get dressed up in costume to hand out candy to trick-or-treaters?
I love Halloween, but it's always a busy time of the year for us. So I probably haven't dressed up in 10 years. Now I hand out candy. I do all of that. In fact, this year was a little weird. I went to my dad's house. He has a little more activity, same neighborhood, just at the front of the neighborhood, and he's still got a bum ankle, so I went to help him. But he has a Tennessee flag flying from his front porch, a big one. So I was sitting there handing out candy, and people would walk by like, Drew, you all right, man? You live here? What's going on?
Is everything okay?
So eventually I had to take that down to avoid confusion. But I didn't dress up. I enjoyed being out and handing out the candy and being with him, but I didn't get into costume.
Are you a costume guy, Van?
No, not at the. I don't remember last time I wore a costume. I didn't wear costumes as a kid. Halloween is the day before my birthday. It's like, let's get this day over with and let's get to the real festivities.
Well,
yeah.
Van was trick-or-treating in his Hornet starter jacket every year.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad the Cats gave you a birthday dub. That's a heck of a way to celebrate.
The best present ever.
Oh, man.
Best
And
present ever.
a victory on the Plains. Is there anything from the game that we need to hammer on a little bit more? We touched on a lot of things.
We've got one thing we haven't mentioned yet. I'm going to get carried away. I'm going to overreact.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Jacob Callaway is basically Brandon Aubrey. Same leg, same guy. I'm not even sure it's not the same guy. He could get to Dallas on Sunday.
Oh, man.
Oh, they play tonight.
From 48, that was just perfectly centered. I mean, you
perfect.
couldn't have taken a ruler and centered it even better, and it would have been good for another 10 yards. So, Aiden LaRosse, he's the MVP. Great game. But Callaway gets a shout out. He didn't get called on much, but he does have a leg, and he made the one that counted Saturday.
I would say the thing that I was concerned about weeks ago, talking about this even before the game was even in sight, are our receivers going to be able to get open? It was a pleasant surprise that they won enough one-on-one battles when we needed to win one-on-one battles to sustain drives or get us ahead of the chain. That was something I was concerned about, and they proved me wrong. That was one of the bigger things that's not talked about enough, is the work of Coach Washington and these young receivers. They are really coming along real nice towards the back end of the schedule.
And I don't want to say it's ironic, but it's also the way Bush changed the offense to make it more of a quick passing game. It really suits their best receivers' abilities well, right? What Kendrick Law does best: catch it and go, make people miss, and
Play running back at receiver.
Yeah,
Yep.
And that's how you
touchdown.
You described him like that at the beginning of the season, Luckett, and he just keeps doing it. And I love that even the Alabama fans are pointing out that it's a former Alabama receiver who helped Hugh Freeze lose his job. Which it'll now be 7 straight Iron Bowls with a unique head coaching matchup, because you had Saban and Malzahn. In 2020, Saban got COVID, so Sark was the interim. Like, he had to step in for that game. And then it's just been a rotating door of Auburn coaches ever since then. So Cadillac was the interim for one of those.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That was they almost had him beat, right?
Yeah.
Is it Saban's last Iron Bowl?
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Freeze's first Iron Bowl was the Jalen Milroe 4th and 20.
Okay.
Back in the end zone.
Yeah.
Which is just an insane. I mean, that game, it's always insane.
Whenever it's Auburn, it seems like it comes down to the wire.
Peanut Butter Posse, he's got a question for Luckett, because Luckett, you nailed it. You said it on 11 personnel. You were calling the win. We weren't laughing at you, but it was like, maybe
Look at this
they
idiot.
were.
No, you're thinking, look at this big dumb idiot over here. Look at this big dumb idiot. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You got to take the victory lap. Hey, I got to take it last year at Ole Miss. Nothing feels better than when you're the one idiot shouting from the mountaintops and then you get to be right. So, Luckett, you were right. Take your victory lap and then tell us what's going to happen when Kentucky plays Florida.
On paper, I like the matchup. Still need to do a little bit more research, but I like where it is. I like where the game falls on the schedule here for Kentucky too. So, and Cutter Bully's been much better at home. So I think you're going to see a bounce back performance from him. I like kind of how it sits up. Florida struggles to they they've struggled to throw the ball all year, really.
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky's run defense has been good, and they play a style of ball that I think matches up well with Kentucky.
Dallas Wilson, who was, he looked like Calvin Johnson against Texas earlier on in the year. He had a foot injury in the preseason. I don't know if he was 5-star or 4-star, but like this huge recruiting win. Doesn't play all year, comes in and is just ass kicking. But he only gets 2 or 3 games in before. I don't know if it's the same foot, but now he's out for the year. Trey Wilson was awesome against Georgia. And to your point, Luckett, about where it falls on the schedule, that was one hell of an effort that they had against Georgia. And they had seemingly 2 chances to win it. It was kind of like the Texas game where, you've got the 3rd and short. They get stopped. They go for it on 4th and 1. In this chance, it was an opportunity to go up 2 scores. They had a 3-point lead at the time. I think it was the right call, Van. I would have gone for it, gone for the kill shot. You're a big dog in a rivalry game, interim coach. Go for it and go for the win. But they get stuffed. Georgia, I kept thinking, like, man, Georgia just isn't very explosive in the run game. And then Bowers just goes 35-yard touchdown run, finally pops one. But then Florida has another chance, and Lagway made one of those throws. Did you think he caught it, Van? I thought he caught it in real time.
I thought he caught it. The ball seemed to have, which is impossible physics-wise, it's been engineered. The ball seemed like it turned in midair to where his arms were under it, and it should have been a catch. If they call it catch on the field, it would have been a catch, but they call it incomplete. It's hard to overturn that.
Right.
In that situation, I think you had to go for the knockout shot. Going up 6 is still 1 possession. Georgia scores. In that situation, I think you had to. I would say this. That was Florida's Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The first game after coaching fire is the best game for those players. They get up for that one.
Bye week 2, get ready.
If they would have came into Commonwealth 4-4, then I'd be like, I don't know. Florida has more talent than we do. They ride the high. They trust the interim coach, all the blah, blah, blah. But with them losing that game, I bet you there's going to be a couple more players this week that all of a sudden come up with some soft tissue injuries, and they're going to be out for the season.
Well, and on the other hand, Drew, this could be Kentucky's Super Bowl. You just got to win on the road. Yeah. You get a chance to come home and win one for your fans against a team that nobody up here likes. If you jump on them early, like Van said, could be a fun night at Kroger Field.
I've been counting on this win since the spring, and I know Kentucky, even though just won, a lot of fans are still down. We're never too good to get excited about beating Florida. I don't care that they have an interim coach or that Lagway's got issues or that it's 40 degrees. This is the Florida Gators, and for most of my life until Stoops got here, I didn't know what it was like to see a win against them. So I don't care that they're down. I'm looking forward to Kentucky having a good shot. I think they'll get it done, and we'll figure out what it means for the big picture later. Any chance you can beat Florida, you got to jump on it.
To put this in perspective, if you are a member of the class of 2026, this is your senior year of high school, you have a chance to go win 5 of your last 8 against the Florida Gators, which means that a high school senior will have won more than they've lost against Florida since basically their fanhood that started.
Forever.
Like that, for these old dogs, for a guy who was in a game where they picked him off 6 times and still lost, that feels inconceivable. But Stoops has always got his guys up for this game. And I know it's at a different part of the year. It's not that first big SEC game in September. But he gets these guys ready to play. If they keep improving, and that's one more question I got for you, Van. We've seen this team take incremental improvements kind of throughout the year. And Stoops kept saying we're getting better, and it hadn't really showed. Where do you expect them to take another step forward to be able to beat Florida and then finish this thing with their foot on the gas?
Offensively, passing game. If we can get this passing game, keep improving, it's going to help us the rest of the season, especially against Vandy. If we can get the passing game going, that is the improvement that I need to see. I need to see Cutter keep improving after all these game reps, seeing things more clear, seeing the picture better, processing even better. If you see that for the rest of these games, it can get scary because we just played the toughest defense that we've played. We played Texas, we play Auburn. Now it becomes a little bit more favorable for our offense the rest of the season. And I'm interested to see how the wide receivers and Cutter keep that connection, that synergy going.
Hopefully it happens on Saturday. Last big night game at Kroger Field. Excuse me. I had a frog in my throat there. Then we'll get Tennessee Tech for Senior Day the following week before traveling to Vandy and Louisville to close out the year. So, Lucky, what was it? We were saying you got to play the games. Well, they played one on Saturday. They got a big win. They got a chance to get another one. And it's good to see an emotional Mark Stoops after the game. This team, they ain't quit yet. No quit in them. So, we ain't quitting either, but we are quitting for now. Look at now. We'll be talking on Wednesday night with 11 personnel. But there is fair warning. You know, things are going to get crazy here over the next month with basketball, football happening at the same time. So the podcast schedule on your YouTube channel may get shaken up a little bit. So just, hit subscribe. You'll know every time we go live here on the Kentucky Sports Radio YouTube channel. But it's been a pleasure talking about a Kentucky SEC win with you all. Hopefully we're back for another one next Monday. For Van Howes, he's Adam Luckett and Drew Franklin. I'm Nick Roush. Go Cats and go Kroger.